Serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 136 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of December 16th through the 22nd, 2019. My name's Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we welcome you, we're opening the recipe box. You out of the way? You out of the way?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
You know what? I have a New Year's resolution already.
All right.
For the new year, we find a recipe box that's safe.
Yes, and sounds like a recipe box.
That would be good, yes. We can invest that much time into the show.
That's right. We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. This is the last episode of the Man Who Ate the Town of 2019. We'll be back.
Yay!
We'll be back in 2020. But let's.
It's been a good year.
Yeah, it has. It's been a really good year. Apologize to everybody for our absence last week. I was just feeling like crap, and I didn't want to be hacking into the microphone the whole time. You heard me coughing just now, and I'm almost done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I didn't want to. It was just, and I was barely able to even talk. So,
Yeah, then it's tough to get in front of a microphone and talk for an hour and a half.
yeah, it's not the easiest of things to do. All right, let's get to it. We have a few big stories in Winston-Salem restaurants going on this week. It was announced via a Facebook post that Asian Barbecue on Reynolda Road will be shutting its operation on December 23rd. This is less than a year after opening. Robert Lumbris stated on his post, "We are so very thankful for our community support and continued loyalty for the past year. Our customers are like family, so this was a hard decision, but we have received an offer we cannot refuse." More on that in a minute. Lumbris said in an interview with Michael Hastings, "Running a restaurant is a lot of work."
There's an understatement.
Yeah. You have to be there every day. It's a big commitment, and I really want to focus on my family and my other business. Sadly, this has been the only Filipino restaurant in Winston-Salem, which, because they don't explicitly say Filipino cuisine, people in this town tend not to pay close attention to anything to know what it really was.
Right.
It said Asian barbecue, so they expected a lot of things that were not Filipino per se. They were looking for, like, Korean barbecue and things like that. That's what I thought it was going to be. I had a meal there early on, prior to Lumbris removing the original chef, which he did. And the food tasted like, and I think I said this on this podcast, food tasted like I was getting samples in a mall food court. It was heavily salted and tasted very cheap. I understand that it got better over time, but that's just not in a location that I am, that is conducive to my constant attention. I don't go out Reynolda, Pofftown area and Reynolda Road and all that stuff often. The signage over there was iffy. I mean, a lot of people didn't even know that it was there, and parking is just as iffy. So I am sad that there is a closing happening in Winston-Salem, but I'm not at all surprised. Now, that offer that Lumbris couldn't refuse, one of my favorite food trucks, Taqueria Luciano, announced at the same time that he is opening his brick and mortar in the same space, possibly as early as January the 15th.
Wow. He's getting right at it.
Yeah, Luciano Perez has been making fantastic Mexican cuisine in a trailer that he pulls around with a church van for 10 years. I love to go to Old Winston Social Club on Tuesdays for Bar Taco Tuesday. I was worried that this meant the end of that truck, but Luciano says that he's keeping his truck because he likes taking his food to different places, and this pleases me. I hope that he can make the brick and mortar location work. As is with the case with most places in this town, I hope that he can get over the parking situation. It's great, authentic Mexican food.
Well, and he's got good competition just down the street in Camino Real.
Yeah,
So
I've never been there.
yeah, theirs is a very authentic Mexican style.
Yeah.
You can tell a difference in who shows up for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, when that's what I always say, going to that new Sichuan place.
Yeah.
Any time that I'm there, any given time, I would say at least 60% of the patrons are Asian. If
that says something.
If you have the ethnicity that is being represented in the food that are eating there all the time.
Right.
The same thing with El Rancho over on Sprague Street.
Exactly.
It's every time I'm in there, it's 80% Hispanic people.
Yeah.
And
and that's Camino Real. You go there for lunch. It's mostly the Latino community.
Yeah.
A lot of contractors are there because they've got really, it's like $2 lunch deals. I mean, it's just crazy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the food's good. And the portions are what you would expect to get.
Right.
So he'll have a time because they've already established themselves out on, but they're a little further out as well.
Yeah. This is going to catch the people who are just, if he can get good signage, if he can advertise it a little bit, and he can find a way to put people in that parking lot, then
actually, you're right about all those. But think about it too. There's a Mi Pueblo just down the street, and Tequila restaurant inside the Ronaldo Manor Shopping Center. Both of those have been there a long time. So yeah, he's going into a market saturated with Latino style food.
Right. And I think you hit it right there on the head. Latino style food. I do not consider Mi Pueblo authentic Mexican food. I consider it along the lines of a Monterey or Monte del Rey, which I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I love going to Monterey and getting that great, fast, American-styled Mexican food. I love that stuff. I'll go and have those quesadilla Monterey and a chili relleno. I love all that stuff. But you get a chili relleno in Mexico, it is nothing like what you're getting here.
Exactly.
You get it.
I'm with you. That Monterey style. I mean, to me, it's comfort food.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but yes, you look at to our point, you look at the patronage. It's just say at an average lunch, and yes, you will see Latinos that are frequenting these restaurants as well. But the percentage, you see it more in some of these other restaurants.
Yeah.
So
well,
I'm curious to see how he does.
I go to like Monterey for lunch, and it's a lot of non-Latino. But if I go there for dinner, it's a lot of Latinos because they come there for the margaritas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really, because I love Luciano. He is an awesome dude, and I've talked to him several times, and he always waves big at me. He'll move stuff around just to give me something. I don't ask for that, and it's not something I'm like, oh, look, I get special privileges, because I certainly don't. But he is just a personable person, and if he knows you, he's always going to smile. He's like the Daniel Butner of Mexican food trucks.
There you go. He's going to make you feel special in that interaction.
That's right. He is all about customer service. So I'm hoping that he does well with it, but I'm glad to hear that he's not doing away with the food truck. Plus, this gives him a commissary.
Right.
So
that'd be great for him. I mean, there's all that extra benefit for having the brick and mortar to the food truck, which also the brick and mortar gives you more opportunity to be doing catering.
Yep, absolutely.
So, that's all good news. The only thing that I would say to him, be different.
Yeah.
Do something that makes your food stand out.
Yeah, which and this I hope this doesn't come out wrong. That food doesn't lend to a lot of originality. It's basic food, and that's not a bad thing. That's what people go for.
Then you up the quality of your ingredients.
Yeah, well, I get that.
And you get a little more creative in some of your pairings, and do something.
Yeah.
Do something to make it, or it just becomes another version of a locally owned restaurant that we've got 14 million of those in the state.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult, I think, but
he's going into a saturated market. But again, if you're different, if you do something better than everybody else there, they'll come.
Well, he does have like you said, the Camino Real is established, but he has a name too. People know when Luciano Taqueria Luciano, which is going to be the name of this as well.
Cool.
That's the people go where he is. So I think he does have that on his side, but it's a whole different monster jumping from a trailer / truck to a brick and mortar, and
now you've got staff and employees and schedules and yeah. So what, in your opinion, what sets his food apart today?
I love the freshness of his food, but I also love the freshness of El Rancho. I love the freshness of Tienda or Taqueria Los Juanes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all in different spots.
Right.
So
you've got choices depending on where you are in town.
Yeah. My location at the time, I'm like, I can go here.
This one's closer now.
Yeah. And I know people who live on that side of town, so I hope that they jump at this. I really think the Asian barbecue thing just confused the hell out of people. Why did not at the beginning they just say Filipino cuisine instead of Asian barbecue? Because I think we even brought that up.
Yeah.
Of why is it being so vague?
Yeah, and the impression that one gets, the expectation of what, quote, Asian barbecue is not what they actually serve.
No. When I hear Asian barbecue, I think of Korean barbecue because of the Asian countries. The barbecue that I know of is Korean, right?
And if I'm not looking for barbecue, but I might be interested in some Asian food.
Yeah, Filipino food specifically.
See, now you say Filipino food, and the dishes that pop to mind look very different.
Yeah.
I think, ooh, you know what? We don't have one of those. I'd like to go try that out.
Yeah. So,
again, the marketing is a key to the overall success of the business.
So because they had lechon, they had the longanisa, the adobo, which is probably the most well-known thing that they do, and the Mikado and stuff like that. But that's great that they had it. The choices were good. The execution when I was there, the only time that I was there, was not good. And the confusion as to what in the world we're doing here was not good. I mean, okay, so I was looking for Asian barbecue. This is not that.
But you got Filipino food.
Yeah.
If you'd gone in knowing it was Filipino food, one, you would have gone in because it was Filipino food.
Yeah.
And two, your expectation would have been met.
Now, let's turn the tables here a little bit and put the onus on the people in this town. That, we have talked about it being Filipino food. The newspaper has talked about it being Filipino food. The various news outlets, food outlets here in our town on Facebook and social media have said it was Filipino food, yet people still don't know that it's Filipino food. So pay attention. You and me, Michael Hastings, all the Winston-Salem Eats folk, Algernon, Daniel, all these people are trying to promote stuff, yet people in this town don't pay a damn attention.
Listen, folks, we're not telling it just for our own health.
No, I mean, I love doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And I would do it if I thought maybe only 3 people were listening. And maybe there's 5. I don't know. But
I thought we hit the 7 mark somewhere earlier this year.
Yeah, we were up there.
But maybe that was when Daniel was on.
Yeah, because people wanted to say, hey, that guy's got a cool beard. But we actually, or I do, and I know that you do too, we pride ourselves in informing people what's going on in Winston-Salem food. This is food news and views. Yeah, I offer my honest
assessment of a restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I understand I have a particular bias on this because I've spent over 30 years in advertising and marketing and working with small businesses. But so many of these businesses are failing for what I have seen is the classic reason. The reason a business fails is it didn't bring in enough revenue. Why didn't it bring in enough revenue? There were 3 things they did not do, and I can promise you it happens every single time. I've seen it so many times.
Do tell. What is it?
Who they are, where they are, what they do. If you don't do that, why do you expect anybody's going to show up? I mean, if you think about it, our lives are already saturated with messages all day long. Everything we do has messages being thrown at us. So we're not out actually looking, in most cases, looking for new stuff to do.
No.
We wait for it to come up in our field of vision based on where we go, what we read, what we watch.
Exactly.
So if you don't put your message in front of me, I won't remember you, especially when you're a new restaurant and I've got a couple hundred excellent choices inside the city limits.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to get my attention, to get me to come to your restaurant, to cross town to come to your restaurant? Or are you only trying to pull from your little neighborhood? If so, have you even told the people in your neighborhood that you're open?
Have you targeted your neighborhood that you're in? Have you sent out, have you gone door to door? I know people are afraid to do that anymore. Have you mailed anything to anybody? You know, just, you can get mail services that will mail flyers or whatever to a specific geo-fenced area.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can target just one block. I just want to send people on this street.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. You can get so specific with that. And yes, it's an additional expense, but it's the expense that puts the fuel in the engine that drives the business. If you don't have customers coming in, the business will die.
Right. And if they don't know, they don't know to come in. And that's, it's just...
I'll put it to you this way. Even a company as large as McDonald's, I mean, I know we don't talk a lot about fast food on here for good reasons.
Yeah.
But there's a company that most of us could name at least half a dozen things on the menu by name very quickly. Mm-hmm. We know what McDonald's does. Okay? They said the same thing and said, we're gonna quit. And they cut back on their advertising. They saw an immediate decline in sales. Mm-hmm. I mean, if a company the size of McDonald's is finding out that if they don't keep reminding people to come back in, then people stop coming back in.
Yeah.
They turned the advertising back on and sales results went right back up where they had been before, and they've not cut their budgets again since.
Yeah, even though you probably pass about 7 of them on your daily commute. But you don't think about stopping there until they send something that entices you to stop.
You know, I'm listening to the morning news and I see that sausage and egg biscuit. I go, oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
I want mine with cheese.
Well, I look at those and I'm like, yeah, that looks so good, but it would never taste as good as it looks.
No. No.
And sodium.
Yeah. Yeah. The after effects are, well, they're maybe not worth it. Yeah. So here we have a case of a restaurant going out that I would have said, man, y'all missed the boat by not telling people what you were doing, even to go to the point of rebranding, to come up with a name that says Filipino.
Yeah. Well, it goes to You know, Uncle Buzzy's, I think they did the exact opposite. They advertised too much of something that they really weren't.
Exactly.
And the
message wasn't really focused on what the business needed.
Yeah. They wanted to stand out, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
But they also ostracized themselves so nobody wanted to be near them. So, I just found this morning, but Paper Plates in Clemens has shut their doors permanently as of the 13th, which was Friday.
Hear that.
While no official reason was given, I'm going to go by the Facebook post that says that they look forward to reopening in a new location, one that has a dining area. Let's think back to Food Freaks and that ill-fated barbecue place that was open only 6 weeks before they closed over where Food Freaks used to be. There's no dining area. People don't want to be there hanging out. The difference between this place was they actually had a drive-through.
Oh, well, that would help a little bit.
Yeah, but it's only takeout. It's only drive-through. So this is basically soul food at Paper Plates. So I figured that wasn't the best thing to have to carry out. I mean, do you want to eat cold collard greens? Do you want to eat cold macaroni and cheese? Do you want to eat cold fried chicken? I mean, I like my chicken. I don't mind eating cold chicken. I like to reheat it just to knock the chill off. Right. But I don't want to order it specifically to eat it and have to go warm it up. Yeah. So it's just
I want it fresh off the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a takeout fan anyway, unless I'm having it delivered and I'm going to eat it as soon as it sits on my table. When you get it in your car, for one, you have to sit. Huh?
You're not eating it right then.
No, absolutely. And for one, you're going to have to probably sit in line to order this.
Right.
So do that. And I mean, by this time, I could have already stopped at McDonald's if I was so inclined to do so and get something to take home for the whole family. And it, because they overheat that stuff to points of ridiculousness. So it's meant to stay hot for, up to 20 minutes after you get it. But the soul food stuff, I don't think would work that way. And
not as well.
From everything that I've read, everybody loved the food. So it has to be that they didn't have a dining area that created the problem for them to stay open. And
so I like their vision that they're thinking, let's go find us a dining room somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've already located one and they just need to focus on renovating instead of paying rent for a place that's troublesome.
Right. I don't know where it is in Clemens. I have never been there. It's not one of those situations, because I hate when people say, I meant to get by there. I had no intentions of going by just a drive-through only place.
Right. You want to sit down and eat.
Yeah. I like to be served, not to be handed something through a window that I have to run somewhere else to eat.
Right. Well, to your point, it's the same thing that they had as an issue for Food Freaks. I mean, originally the building was designed for Colonel Custard.
Yep.
It was an ice cream place. And it made sense to only be walk up.
Yep.
But for a restaurant, no. Really, what they need to do with the building at this point is tear it down
and put something of quality.
And let somebody put their own building up and build an actual restaurant there.
I drove by there the other day, and it still says the barbecue place that didn't make it. So no one's moved in there. So they need to just, raise the place and build something that's conducive to real business and not make-believe fun stuff,
Yeah. I mean, you look at the other restaurants that are running right down that same side of the street. You got the Cheddar's and the Uno or Umi.
And now Buffalo
they're
Wild
all
Wings.
doing well.
And Buffalo Wild Wings just moved into the old land and cattle spot.
There you go.
So
yeah, there's definitely enough foot traffic over there to justify a space, but not with that building.
Yeah, no. Well, it's just not. I don't know who this is. I'm gonna say
it's not friendly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I mean, my daughter had her when she graduated high school. Said you can eat anywhere you want to, and Food Freaks was still open at the time, so that's where we went, and we sat in a garage.
Yeah.
It just, it was funky, it was cool, it was the teenage thing, but I'm like, I would not want to be eating in this space regularly.
Mm-mm. No, it's hard to heat and cool. So, yeah. I mean, unless it's spring and fall and just at the right times, that's just not the way to go. And this is a little different, but this is still, soul food especially is not something that you want to let sit. You want to go ahead and eat it immediately.
Yeah. Well, I hope they'll keep us informed about when they get their new spot open. I'd love to talk to them about it.
I hope so, and I'd love to have them come talk to us about it. Spruce Street Garden Craft Tavern is now open. It's a little different concept than was originally announced. I was happy to hear that there are no damn pool tables in there. It's not just the beer garden that they said it was going to be. It's a full-on restaurant, and from what I can tell, they are going to be kind of lamb heavy, which is okay. Street team Steven and I are going there for lunch tomorrow. I'll probably write a review so that even if we're not doing a podcast, I can report. I understand the restaurant is brand new and have only moderate expectations when I go in there. Many people are complaining already on local message boards about the service and the kitchen not doing whatever right. They've not even been open really a week, so get over yourself, people.
Yeah, not everybody that opens is going to be Yamas.
That's right. You can't be Yamas that quick.
You got to work your way to that level.
Yeah. I had lunch, Stephanie and I had lunch at Yamas on Friday.
I saw that. It looked good. That was a good looking bowl.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a good bowl right there, man. Yeah. So I will report back on the Spruce Street Garden. A lot of people are glad that they're there, but a lot of people are complaining because they didn't do everything right. Because, we have to have everything 100% perfect. So I will report back and give you an honest assessment, but with keeping in mind that they've been open a week.
Right.
Yeah. I really just want to see what it looks like because, I never had a problem with the Asian places, but it seemed really small. But I was told that they've really opened it up, and there's like a real bar and real restaurants, and so
this is the freestanding place down there that has been 2 or 3 different Asian places.
It was. I remember the longest ago as Zia. I'm sure it was something else, and then it was Wenhua, and then Dynasty Asian Fusion. And it burned before Dynasty, and they fixed it back up, and then they closed out because, Business 40 and other things. I don't know if it had to do with it was 2 doors down from a crematorium, but that came later though. The crematorium was a late edition. So I don't know, but yeah,
that is the building I'm thinking about. So I like the concept for that space.
Yeah. Because my friend Ryan, who is the bar manager at Willows, said that he's been there a couple times and he really enjoyed it, and the atmosphere was really nice, and it was good. So I will be there tomorrow for lunch with our good friend Steven, and I will report back onto what I think about it.
I look forward to hearing the review.
And speaking of Yamas, there's actually nothing about Yamas here, but Buzzed Bull Creamery plans to open in the old Gloria's Subs location right up the street from Yamas in Foothills.
What? Gloria's Subs has closed?
Yeah, isn't that a surprise?
I am shocked that a company that did everything possible wrong didn't survive.
Yeah, I know. that is a whole show on itself, and we have talked about it before, but we could actually make probably an hour and a half show just on how crappy that was. Great concept, understandable, but no.
I mean, truth, there was room for a good deli style restaurant downtown. Easy for lunch. Folks just want a sandwich. Do something a little different than what Jimmy John's is doing in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Especially once O'Brien's couldn't make it because the people couldn't get along.
to have the signage just be letters on a board of foam core with red duct tape around the edge. Come on, folks.
And even the foam board was had fingerprints smeared on them.
Yeah, it'd been used for a kid's science project, and they tore the letters off and put new ones on, and then just put this red tape around the edge, and let's just use that. We won't spend money to have a real sign made.
It would have actually probably looked better if it was one of those ransom notes that had been pieced together from different letters from magazines and stuff, and put up there, 7 napkin sandwich something.
The 7 napkin sandwich. Yeah. That was a really cool idea. I love the 7 napkin sandwich.
Yeah, and it was actually tasty, but why? I mean, anyway, Buzzed Bull Creamery is going to open in that spot. It's a small chain that I can tell that is mainly located in Ohio. There is one other North Carolina-based location, and that's in Wilmington. Susan Cook, one of the partners in the business, plans to open the Winston-Salem store in the spring, but ultimate plans, as of now, call for 2 locations in Winston, 2 in Greensboro, and 1 in Durham in the next 5 years. They will serve liquid nitrogen ice cream, and according to the Winston-Salem Journal, liquid nitrogen ice cream is known for its smooth, creamy texture. Liquid nitrogen is nitrogen gas at a very low temperature. So liquid nitrogen is able to freeze ice cream and liquids extremely fast, which prevents large ice crystals from forming, creating ultra smooth ice cream.
Ooh, I like the way you say that.
That ice cream can be made in about 3 minutes. So everything is made to order, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the flights of ice cream served in small portions similar to beer flights.
Isn't that similar to what they're doing over at Cafe Veradu?
No, that's rolled ice cream. That's a little bit different.
Okay, that's a super chilled surface they're just putting their stuff on. Okay.
And
sorry.
My question about the name is, do they know that cream doesn't come from bulls?
And if it does, I'm sorry, but I'm just not really interested.
Yeah. No, that's not the cream I want. So, with Bull's Tavern, there will be 2 drinking establishments with Bull in their name on 4th Street. Buzzed Bull offers a handful of different flavors and mix-ins, as well as alcohol choices for customers who are 21 or over. The Buzzed flavors start at 5% alcohol by volume. Buzzed ice cream probably will range from about $8 to $12, with optional upgrades to top shelf liquors, Cook said. Non-alcoholic ice creams probably will range from about 5 to 7. There are several flavors that we know of right now, like honey pecan, which is honey ice cream or milkshake pecans, and whipped cream with bourbon as the suggested buzz. Tiger Stripes, which is chocolate peanut butter ice cream or milkshake, peanut butter cups, and peanut butter sauce with spiced rum as a suggested buzz.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And Dreamsicle, which is orange cake batter ice cream or milkshake, waffle cone pieces, and whipped cream with the suggested buzz orange vodka. I'd much rather, I think, have that with Grand Marnier since it's orange flavor too, or even Southern Comfort.
I bet you could just say, "Can you make mine with?"
Yeah.
And they do it.
Yeah. I don't really get excited about alcoholic milkshakes at all. I have never had one at Chin Chin or Small Batch. I just don't get the appeal. So this makes no difference to me really, but I'm glad to see something different showing up. And that's what I've been asking for, something different. And then advertise it Asian barbecue.
I will say I've done that on my own. Just get a milkshake and then add whatever particular flavor I wanted to at the time.
Yeah,
it makes for a good milkshake.
I don't like milk and alcohol mixed, except for like a sombrero, which is a Kahlua and cream, or a White Russian. That's half
I
and
love me
half.
some White Russian.
Now, I told you a couple weeks back that I had quote unquote eggnog for the first time and used Maker's Mark. Not that the listeners can see this, but I just like pointing it out.
But you make me see it.
Yes. And that was okay. So this weekend at the store, Stephanie and I were there. I looked and there was Southern Comfort, non-alcoholic, of course.
Right.
Eggnog. And I'm like, all right, let's try it. And I took it home and poured a little bit of bullet rye in there. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now, but still, that's not something I want really most of the time. So, just
I will say a Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Really well with the eggnog. The spiced rum flavors, really good with the eggnog if you want to try something different.
Is that what they call you, Captain Morgan?
Yes. Get a little cap in you.
So anyway, I'm glad to see something different coming, because I have really been wanting to see something of quality show up that's different than everything else. That location,
and I like that
I think they're good.
I think this is great. That gives us 3 places downtown that have Bull in the name.
Yeah, Butcher and Bull, Bull's Tavern, or 4 if you don't count the restaurant, because there's Bull and Beard, which is a marketing firm. So, yeah. Well, Carrabba's has their Behringer wine dinner tomorrow, December 17th. I believe you can get reservations by calling or going to carrabbas.com/wine dinner. And then on Wednesday, the 18th, they will have their Feast of the Seven Fishes, which is the big Italian thing. You can find that by going to carrabbas.com/exclusive. I'm pretty sure.
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So barring anything else popping up in my feed real quick, let's do some food holidays. How about that?
Let's.
Today, the 16th is, and this is, I know for a fact you're going to be behind this, National Chocolate Covered Anything Day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm for that day.
Yeah. Anything that you can put chocolate on, it's the day.
Yeah. This is the day to do it.
Yeah. And it's also Tea Party Day.
Interesting.
Why is it
Tea Party day? For the political party, or for the Boston Tea Party, or...
Well, on this day in 1773, the Boston Tea Party happened. A group of men dressed as Native Americans boarded ships at Griffin's Wharf and dumped hundreds of tea chests into the harbor, the Boston Harbor, and thus the American Revolution began. So
there we
today
go.
Is a big
this
day.
This day in history.
Yes. In 1835, the original Delmonico and Brothers Cafe at 23 William Street was destroyed by fire. Delmonico, I don't know if they're still open, but they were around for a long time. They're the ones that coined the term 86, because their big slab-o meat with the like the onion straws and stuff on top was number 86 on the menu, and they sold out of it regularly. So 86 that. In 1863, Gerard Adrian Heineken bought the Amsterdam brewery The Haystack, which dated back to 1592. This was the beginning of Heineken beer. Cool. And I was in Amsterdam, but I did not see The Haystack. I think they are doing it other places now, but as I have said before, and I'll repeat this again ad nauseum, the Heineken we get here in the United States is awful. It's completely bad.
Not what you get up there.
No, but you get it in Amsterdam, That's some good stuff.
Especially, you get it there, you're going to get it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. In 1884, William H. Fruin of Minneapolis, Minnesota, was granted a patent for the first coin-operated automatic vending machine to dispense liquids. So I guess that's, the coffee and I don't know if you remember the old coin-operated fountain machines. You'd put the money in there. It would drop a cup and then pour syrup and stuff in there each individually. I always thought that was cool. I never really liked the product. I just liked watching it happen. Yeah, and it was a quarter. Come on.
What entertainment can you buy for a quarter?
Well, there was that.
I can watch stuff being poured in a cup.
Yeah. Ooh, look at this. It was something satisfying about watching that thing because it would have this little clamp, and the cup would just fall out of wherever it came from, and then you hear pouring the syrup in there, and then the actual soda part, and then just the little clamp thing moved. You reach in, grab it, and there it was.
Oh, I remember them well.
Yeah. Wow.
And the coffee that you got out of those machines. Oh.
Yeah.
But you treated that like medicine.
Yeah. Well, but see, I never drank coffee at that time, but really that's the only thing you had. You didn't have Starbucks on every corner.
No, you didn't.
You were in a department store that happened to have a little deli or whatever, and you hook that up, put your 15 cents in or whatever it costs. There you have instant crap in a cup. In 1903, the Taj Mahal Palace and Tower opened in Mumbai. It was India's first luxury hotel.
But not last.
No, not last. In 1976, on the Barney Miller Show, Wojo's hippie girlfriend baked a batch of special brownies for the precinct. And that was a big
naughty
deal.
Girl.
That was a big deal. In 1980, on this day, so that's 39 years ago, Harland Sanders died at Shelbyville, Kentucky. The founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, a fast food chain, obviously, was not really a colonel.
They just called him that.
They just called him that. And so
I will say, I love their chicken.
I did too. I like their extra crispy and their original recipe.
Yeah,
but I've not had it in almost 5 years. So.
Years ago, when I was a kid, we were up in the Smokies, and we camped out by the river and just enjoying the day. And this guy in an RV pulls up, sets out a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken onto the picnic table, goes back into his RV to get some more supplies, and in between his return, a bear came up, picked up the bucket in its teeth, walked out into the middle of the river, sat down on a big rock in the sun with a bucket between its legs, and just started eating the chicken. It was the funniest thing to watch. And this guy comes out and he's like, "That bear's got my chicken."
Did he go get it?
Go get it. You just go right on with yourself. I want to watch you get your chicken back.
And I bet he didn't, did he?
Oh, he just got in his RV and left.
No, okay.
He went away mad.
Oh, yeah. Don't go away mad. Just go away.
Go away. That was the funniest thing.
In 2004, country music singer Willie Nelson opened his own restaurant, the Texas Roadhouse Grill in Austin, Texas. Now, yes, this is the same Texas Roadhouse Grill that we have over by the mall. It's not owned by him. He is only the franchisee of one of them, but they back his tours and he advertises for them often, so he actually owns the one in Austin. On the 17th, National Maple Syrup Day. I'm a fan.
Love maple syrup.
Yep.
Especially the good stuff.
Yeah, real maple syrup, not Mrs. Butterworth. And it's also Nutcracker Day.
Ow.
in 1843, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol was published. Some say it was the 19th, some say it was the 17th. In 1892, the first performance of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker was performed in St. Petersburg.
Ow.
Sugar plum fairies. In 1903, on the 17th, Wilbur and Orville Wright make the first successful flight of a self-propelled heavier-than-air aircraft.
Very cool. Did you know my wife has a family connection? She is related to Orville and Wilbur Wright.
Really?
Yeah. She'd have to be the one to tell you the lineage back. But yeah, they're related. It's not like they're, first cousins or anything, but there is a connection there.
So is this from Ohio? Because they're from Ohio.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. The largest edition of the Sunday New York Times was published in 1965 on the 17th with 946 pages.
Wow.
That's
big.
If I was reading that newspaper, let's say 65, I'd still be reading it today.
No. You could have read it faster than that.
Because I hate to read. So I would be like...
You would have finished it last year.
Okay, last year. Maybe. Or earlier this year. In 1992, the NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, that we just got rid of, was signed by the leaders of Canada, Mexico, and the United States. What's it called now? The...
I forget what the new name is.
CAMSA or something. I don't know. It's something ridiculous. So,
I thought it would have just been, something that has, Trump's name on it.
Yeah. What?
He probably bought the branding rights.
Copyrighted.
Yeah. Trump's trade agreement.
The UMSCA. The USMCA. USMCA. See, they need to at least make something that you can, NAFTA you can say. You can't say USMCA.
Well, you did, but I don't know that we could repeat that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I was out in the conversation. Oh, because of UMSCA. USMCA.
Yeah, that's...
Because of USMCA. And of course, we had to put ourselves first, right?
Well, of course.
Because America first.
Because Mark first. Like Mark great again. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, wasn't America great anyway?
Apparently
I didn't
not.
know it was needed to be done again.
Yeah, apparently not. And on the 18th, it is National Roast Suckling Pig Day.
I've never had that.
I haven't either.
I imagine it would be good.
Do you eat it while it's still suckling?
No. Eat it after it's cooked. I don't think pork is one of those eat it raw meats.
So, no, it's not. It is because it's white meat. The suckling pig is a piglet fed on its mother's milk. In culinary context, the suckling pig is slaughtered between the ages of 2 and 6 weeks. It is traditionally cooked whole, often roasted in various cuisines. Okay. I'll pass. Let's see, where am I? It's National Bake Cookies Day.
Oh. I'm all about the cookies.
Yeah. I like cookies.
And I like them when they've been baked.
You like them?
If they could be just refrigerated, that would be fine.
Yeah.
I've had no-bake cookies that I thought were really good. I've made no-bake cookies that I thought were really good.
Are you a fan of raw cookie dough?
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can admit that. It's okay.
I can admit that publicly. I've held on to that for so long.
Yeah. and now it's out.
It's out. I'm out of the closet on that issue.
In 1895, on the 18th, the Anti-Saloon League of Ohio and Washington, D.C. joined to form the National Anti-Saloon League, later known as the Anti-Saloon League of America.
Wow. Glad that we had those folks around.
I know. Watching out for the best, our best interests, right?
Yep, protecting us from great evils.
Protecting us from making our own decisions. In 1988, and on the 18th, I'm about to sneeze, sorry. Pillsbury is acquired by the British company Grand.
Bless you.
Thank you. Grand Metropolitan PLC, a food and spirits conglomerate. I don't know if they're still owned by them. Thank you again. Let's see who.
And apologies to the wall.
Oh, that hit the chair. So whoever sits in that chair now. No, come on.
Tim.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Major Tim.
Yeah.
Ground control. Major Tim.
2S. Okay. I'm trying to figure out who owns them now, if it's still the same folk.
If the same multinational has them.
Yeah. They are. It doesn't say. They were acquired by General Mills, and actually, it's defunct as of 2001. So now, who does it? Okay, yeah. So in 2001, General Mills bought it. So now it's
the whole company is
and
officially been shut down.
And that was acquired by Smuckers. So
Smuckers bought General Mills.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That says something for the power of jam.
Because if it doesn't say, with a name like Smuckers, it's got to be good.
It's got to be good.
Also in 1988, Quebec, Canada requires French only on outside signs in Quebec.
Wow. A little exclusive there.
Yeah, because they're snooty. On the 19th of December, Oatmeal Muffin Day.
Okay.
And
if you need your fiber, make sure you get your oatmeal muffin.
You like it with nuts or without?
Oh, I'd much rather have it with some nuts and maybe even some banana or.
So you like the boy muffins. Okay.
And then some jam.
Yeah. The Smuckers, jam. It's also National Hard Candy Day.
I'm not a fan of most hard candies, personally.
I'm okay with hard candy, like butterscotches. I love those.
Yeah, they're okay.
On the 19th in 1732, the first issue of Poor Richard's Almanac was published by Benjamin Franklin in Philadelphia. And it's still used to this day. In 1863, Frederick Walton of London, England, applied for a patent for linoleum, which was finally granted in May of 1864. The first widely used smooth surface floor covering. Over time, he received 88 patents, including for a varnish, plastics, artificial leather, distillation, and more.
Interesting.
In 1871, Albert L. Jones of New York received a patent for corrugated paper, an improvement in paper for packing, which could be used to make boxes, and we are still using said corrugated paper today.
Oh, yeah.
Anything you get from Amazon that comes in a box is corrugated paper.
Yep.
1909, on the 19th, the new Palace Hotel opened in San Francisco. It replaced the original Palace Hotel that was destroyed in the 1906 earthquake and fire. On the 20th, it's something I can get behind. It's National Sangria Day.
Yay!
I'm a fan, and I will suggest to everyone, even though they're not a sponsor, the less desirable sangria at Willow's Bistro is fantastic.
You know, it's a shame that we can't put Sangria Day onto the cover anything with chocolate day, because that's a good pairing.
Cover your sangria with chocolate?
Well, something covered in chocolate and sangria.
Okay. Yeah.
At least if it's good sangria.
Oh, it's good sangria there.
Well, I would expect it at Willow's. Expect nothing less than excellent sangria there.
You know where else they have a good sangria?
Where?
That's Carrabba's.
Carrabba's has a good sangria.
Yeah, they have a couple of them. I think one was like a blackberry or something, and
ooh,
yeah. So I have had a couple of them there, and they were really good. On the 20th,
thanks for the tip.
You know, you're welcome. Please go to Carrabba's and have a sangria. Tell them that Ray and I sent you.
Yep.
On the 20th in 1790, a water-powered mill with machinery for spinning, roving, and carding cotton began operating on the banks of the Blackstone River in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Okay. In 1880, on the 20th,
yeah,
in New York City, Charles Busch lighted up Broadway with his arc lights, giving the street the nickname the Great White Way.
Ah, that's where it came from.
It is. It wasn't racist. It was just white lights. In 1893, the official opening of the Chateau Frontenac Hotel in Quebec, Canada happened, and that is probably my biggest bucket list item for staying someplace.
That particular place.
Yeah, it's owned now by Fairmont Hotels, but it's if you see the picture of it, you're like, oh, I've seen that. But it is in Quebec, Canada, in Quebec City, actually, which is the last remaining walled city in North America.
Is it like a fairy tale kind of castle place?
It's huge. It's got a big green roof. And it's historic. And again, as soon as you saw the picture, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen that. It's been on, advertisements, it's been in movies, it's been all that. So, but it is my bucket list item for actually staying on a trip. It only has to be one night, but I want to stay there. And
a detour through Quebec at some point.
Oh, I'm hoping to go to Quebec in November. So, but we won't be able to stay there. I'm hoping we might be able to go see if there's a restaurant we can eat in or something. But we'll see.
At least go check it out in person.
Oh yeah, I want to stand outside of it. I won't know if I'll have the same effect that being at the base of Mont Saint Michel will be, but it would be it would be at least comparable, I think. In 1928, on the 20th, in Guiseley, Northern England, Harry Ramsden opened what would become the most famous fish and chips restaurant in the world. Harry Ramsden's, as far as I can tell. I'm a fan of I am a fan of fish and chips.
I am too. I've had some good fish and chips here in town too.
Yeah, I have too, especially Finnegan's Wake.
Finnegan's has some good ones, and Foothills had good ones.
I've had fish and chips in London, and I prefer them at Finnegan's. Now, it could be because I had them at Finnegan's first, but it reminds me, like they're in the UK Pavilion in Epcot. There is a fish and chips place, and that kind of reminded me of what I was getting in London, which was good, but it was still better at Finnegan's. That's not shilling for Finnegan's. It's just, it is that good.
Yeah, I've had them, and I loved it. I'd have it again.
On the 20th, in 1949, Thomas Carvel of Hartsdale, New York, received a patent for an apparatus for agitating and dispensing frozen foods like custards, ice creams, and more in semi-solid condition. And if you notice the last name Carvel, that's where Carvel ice cream comes from.
Is it Carvel or Carvel?
I think it's Carvel. It could be Carvel.
I think it's Carvel.
I'm going with Carvel. We'll agree to disagree.
I do remember when they were all over the place.
Yeah, there's one, or is that Cold Stone? I don't know. Which is the one that does the most things and yell at you every time you walk in? Is that Cold Stone?
Yeah, that's Cold Stone.
Yeah. The 21st is winter solstice. It's the shortest day of the year. That means that the days start getting longer, and winter begins in northern hemisphere, and summer begins in the southern hemisphere. Which on the Less Desirables last week, I had a lady from Australia, but she had lost her accent. She said she fought to get rid of it, but she said the one thing she had to get used to was, Christmas here is actually Christmas. Christmas in Australia, it's
summer.
It's summer, and truly barbecues and things like that. So,
well, what are you gonna do? That's different hemisphere. It's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, but the dates don't change. Still Christmas.
I remember living in Florida and going and swimming in the pool, or go out to the beach and get out in the water on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Oh, there are sometimes here you can do that.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about North Carolina. You get a lot of strange weather here. It's also National Kiwi Fruit Day. I like
kiwi fruit.
I do too. And it's
don't eat it with the skin on.
Why?
Ugh.
That's how I eat it.
You eat the skin?
Oh yeah. Nutrients, man. There's nutrients in there. I also eat the green part of the strawberry. I think we've had this discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah. I mean, you eat the skin of an apple.
But you won't eat asparagus.
No, I won't. That's gross.
I love it.
Yeah. Yuck. In 1620, on the 21st, the Pilgrims arrived at Plymouth Rock on the Mayflower. However, bad weather delayed the actual landing until the 23rd. So they just had to look. There's land.
And we see it,
and land is still there. Look,
honey, do you want to get wet? No, it's raining, dear. I think I'll just stay inside and wait for our grand landing on another day.
I think that's it's a jolly good idea there.
There we go. We'll just stay inside.
We sound like Spinal Tap. This
one goes to 11.
Well, this one's one louder. It's in the key of D minor, the saddest of all keys. I call this particular piece "Lick My Love Pump." So,
oh god, that was a good movie.
Yes, in 1913, the New York World published the first crossword puzzle. In 1937, on the 21st, Walt Disney's first full-length animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, not dwarves, dwarfs, opened in Los Angeles, California. It ran for 83 minutes and cost $1.5 million to make, which in 1937 was a lot of money, but it has since gone on to make over $500 million.
Yeah, maybe that was a good investment.
Yeah. And incidentally, I am a Disney Plus subscriber because I am all about Disney. Last week I started at Snow White, which was the first Disney animated feature. They had some animated shorts before then, but started at Snow White, and I'm going to watch them in order all the way through till Frozen 2, so that's the latest one. I have gotten as far now as Lady and the Tramp. Next will be Sleeping Beauty.
I loved Lady and the Tramp.
It was great. Every time Stephanie and I go out to eat, since this is a food podcast, if there's like one little piece, I don't actually use my nose, but I mimic nudging it over to her if I don't want to eat it. So, yeah.
Have you seen the latest version of Lady and the Tramp?
I have not.
The live action.
It's on the service, so it will be happening soon. I want to see the live Dumbo too.
I've seen it. It's really good. Surprisingly,
it's
good.
I loved the Jungle Book, the redo of the Jungle Book.
Yeah,
loved it. Jon Favreau,
they did it really
is awesome.
Just this week, we watched the original Jungle Book again because we watched the reboot.
Yeah,
it was like, no, I didn't hear the King of the Swingers. I didn't hear the Facts of Life, or no, Bare Necessities.
You didn't?
Not in the reboot.
Oh,
not in the live action version.
Yeah, because Christopher Walken did King Louis's part, and Bill Murray did.
Oh, that's right.
Bare Necessities.
But it wasn't. I had to hear the original.
Right. Of course.
I had to go back.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, as much as I love the live action, it was not. You know.
I'm curious if they'll go back to Snow White, since that was the beginning of all this. If they'll do that one as a live action. It seems like they're in the process of redoing the entire Disney catalog as live action as opposed to animation.
Bring it. I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah.
But
did you see the reboot of Aladdin with Will Smith?
I did not. I'm sure it'll be on the thing soon. You know, I don't go to the movies.
You want to see that one?
Yeah, I will. Because my favorite Disney villain, because I'm all about the villains, is Jafar. So yeah. I will definitely.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. That was really good.
I have been Jafar for Halloween twice.
I can see you pulling that off.
Oh, yeah. In 1999, on the 21st, David Gesk and Lynn C. Kretschmann of Menu Saver Inc. There we go. Was granted a patent for making a sealed, crustless sandwich of peanut butter and jelly. It was purchased by Smucker's. The patent was controversial from the start. After several lawsuits, appeals, and re-examinations, the USPTO, issued a certificate canceling all claims of the crustless peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because, I mean, anybody can make that. In 2000, on the 21st, further research leads to the removal of warning labels on products containing saccharin, a non-nutritive sweetener. What was
Don't
that?
like the saccharin.
What is that? It's like it was picking up everything.
This microphone will pick up stuff happening outside.
It's very loud. Did you hit a button?
No. Somebody drove by. I didn't know if that's what you were hearing.
Oh, I was hearing that, but everything's like extremely loud now. In 2012, on the 21st, Y12 happened, or didn't happen. The end of the long count Mayan calendar cycle of 5,125.37 years. I don't know. Despite predictions, the world did not end on that day.
Yep.
I remember that was a big deal.
I do too. And I was watching it on my watch, like, all right, here it comes. Yep. All right. Back to the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. On the 22nd of December, it's National Date Nut Bread Day.
Ooh.
Not date a nut bread day, like my eventual wife did. She dated a nut for a while, and then married him.
Did.
On the 22nd in 1882, Edward H. Johnson, vice president of Thomas Edison's electric company, created the first electric Christmas tree lights. He displayed the walnut-sized bulbs on a large Christmas tree at his home in New York.
And they immediately burst into flame because he hadn't figured out how to control the temperature yet. Whoosh.
In 1888, Joseph V. Horn and Frank Hardart opened Horn and Hardart, a 15-stool lunchroom in Pennsylvania. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but that was there. And
there you go. A business opened. Yay.
In 1938, a coelacanth was caught off the coast of South Africa. The coelacanth is a primitive fish thought to have been extinct for more than 80 million years. Since
ugly fish.
Yeah, since then, another coelacanth population has been discovered in Indonesia.
Yeah, we have no idea what's living way down in our oceans.
No, we don't. That is truly the last frontier, because
I mean,
some stuff
you look at some of the stuff that we discover. It's like every trip down, we see something brand new, and you look and think that's so completely alien from anything else that I've ever seen before, and that's not on Mars. That's in our backyard.
Yep. Okay, so I found out it's not coelacanth or whatever else. It's coelacanth.
Coelacanth, yes.
But it's spelled Coelacanth. So, coelacanth. Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, they think it may have survived from, like, the age of the dinosaurs.
Yep. It's like, don't tell anybody we're here.
Yeah, we're just going to hide over here.
Yeah. You see what they're doing up there to the earth? Just stay down here.
It's nice and dark down here.
On the 22nd in 1960, aluminum Christmas trees go on sale in Canada.
You want an aluminum Christmas tree?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't either.
I want the Christmas trees I got. In 1985, on the 22nd, a record grouper caught with rod and reel weighed over 436 pounds. It was caught in Destin, Florida.
That's a big grouper. I've been to Destin.
You have?
Yeah.
Is it a
not
destination?
No, not really. Unless you're looking for something quiet.
And old?
If you're not looking to... if your goal is you want to get in your boat and you want to go out, Destin's a great place. Because there's not a whole lot going on around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a beach, right?
Yeah.
It's on the Emerald Coast.
Yep.
And the city styles itself as the world's luckiest fishing village. It claims to have the largest fishing vessel fleet in the state of Florida.
That's pretty impressive given that it's Florida and you've got 3/4 of the state with coastline.
And it's located, the city's located on a peninsula separating the Gulf of Mexico from, correct me if this is wrong, Choctawhatchee Bay?
That sounds right, yes.
Okay. Yeah. It was originally only a barrier island, but hurricane sea level changes gradually connected it to the mainland. In the 1940s, it technically became an island again with the completion of the Choctawhatchee West Bay Canal. Or canal, if you're some people.
Leaving that alone.
When you get the colonoscopy, they put the scope in your anal canal.
Yes, they do.
Why is it not a now?
I was knocked out.
Yeah. Why is it not a now?
I don't know. Why isn't it a now?
I don't know.
I mean, it could be.
It could be. We might be saying it wrong.
We might.
Coelacanth. All right. So anyway, that's your that's your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, talk about anal canals, and coelacanths, and making Ray dream of sangrias and everything covered in chocolate.
Yes. Thank you, James.
The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables Podcast Network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dad's, Fan Interference, Apartment 5B, Beeswax Final, and more. And if you've been watching social media, the Sipping NC, the Art of Drinking podcast is maybe coming back. I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say that there was a meeting. There were plans made. There were arrangements.
There were actual meetings and arrangements?
Yes. You know what happens when there's meetings and arrangements?
We have more meetings and more arrangements.
That's right. We arrange to meet more.
Yes. Have your people call my people.
That's right. I am my people, so I had to make those calls. You can find all these podcasts, their latest episodes, on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You can also find social media links to each there as well. We'd greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors, like Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road. Let Daniel demonstrate what a responsible, large-scale family of restaurants looks like. Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously, and having Daniel Butner as the franchisee certainly does not suck. Again, the wine dinner is the one for tomorrow, the 17th. Carrabba's.com/wine dinner. The one on the 18th, Wednesday, the Feast of Seven Fishes. Carrabba's.com/exclusive. And follow more just on social media and on Carrabba's.com. Washington Perk and Provision Company. The Perk is located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Fruits, veggies, meat, dairy, all from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem. Eventually made in this building. Wolfie's Custard and much more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk, or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. The Humblebee Shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. You need to go to Instagram right now and look up the Humblebee Shop. Brittany is whipping up the batter on some delicious desserts, cakes, muffins, be it regular, vegan, or gluten-free. The Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch-made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit thehumblebeeshop.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
Ray, this is the end of our 2019 season. I hope that you and Whitney and your family and everyone have a fantastic Christmas and New Year.
Thank you. And same to you and Stephanie and Trey and the rest of the family.
Absolutely. And I hope that all of our listeners have a great holiday. Just because we're not doing a podcast doesn't mean there might not be some stuff on the blog and the website, just because again, I have a couple of restaurants to visit and watch social media for those.
And it doesn't mean we still don't hold our listeners in our hearts.
That's true. And it doesn't mean that if you have recommendations, you can't still contact us. Because
Please do.
We would like to.
We want to hear from folks.
Absolutely. We want to know when things are going on. I looked around, and not even Michael Hastings or Carol Leggett, who likes to post things that that's not even real, had said anything about paper plates. So, I would have liked some heads up on that. But if nobody knew it until now, then at least you know now, right? I told you.
There you go. You get to break the story.
I broke it.
Yes.
And hopefully I'll fix it whenever they move to a place that they can dine in. Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast for more information about the food news and happenings around town. If you had food news, just like I said, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatetown.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant messengers. Like us on Facebook. It's just The Man Who Ate the Town. Just type that in. It shows up. On Twitter, we are Man Who Ate the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. My name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.